Well, hello, folks out there in YouTube land. Got a big show lined up for you. Let's get right on into it. All right, folks, we got a big one coming up. The Vols versus South Carolina for the title. The SEC regular season is on the line. And Eli Drinkwitz, he's going to let us know why he chose to look like a jackass. And I think he should.
You suck, you jackass.
So let's start out with South Carolina and UT. This is a big one. All right, folks, 7 p.m. Wednesday, March the 6th. The SEC regular season will be determined. We've got Tennessee versus South Carolina. This is at South Carolina, so that'll make it very interesting. And as we take a look at the rankings right now, Tennessee's in first place by themselves at 13-3. South Carolina is just one game back at 12-4. Of course, we just beat Alabama Saturday night, an epic game. What a terrific ball game that was. Everybody was there. Nick Saban was there. Kalen DeBoer. I mean, anybody that was anybody was at that ball game. It's such a shame they had to take a loss. Anyway, we'll be playing them, and that's if South Carolina can win this game, they'll get a share of the SEC, almost guaranteed. Because let's see, because they've got an easy ball game, I think, remaining after that. Yeah, they'll be playing Mississippi State, so I would expect them to be almost guaranteed a share of the SEC if they win. And Tennessee would have an opportunity to win it outright. They still have to play Kentucky Saturday at Thompson-Boling, and Kentucky is really finding their stride, which is pretty typical with Kentucky. They start out with all those five-star freshmen, and they're pretty crappy at the beginning of the season. Then as they get towards the end, a lot of times they start figuring things out. Those 18-year-olds start kind of figuring out how to play together as a team, and that's kind of happening with Kentucky. Their defense is still pathetic, but they're scoring like crazy. So we'll still have our hands full even if we beat South Carolina, but that would guarantee us a share of the SEC no matter what and give us an excellent opportunity to win it outright. And the other reason we want to beat South Carolina is because they beat us this year at Thompson-Boling by, 4 points? Yeah, 63-59. That was a shocker. I was not expecting that at all. And South Carolina was considered really to be in the bottom dweller when they came into this season. Last year they were awful. I think they won like 4 games total in the SEC. And we beat them like a rented mule. Both games, I'll show you. Yeah, one game we beat them 85-42 last year, and the other game we beat them 85-45. So we beat them by more than 80 points last year. I mean, that was just terrible. We matched up horribly against them and just destroyed them in both games. I wasn't even thinking they would have a chance against us at Thompson-Boling this year, and somehow we didn't play well. They played really good defense against us. And we just couldn't get anything going, and they won by 4 points. I mean, it just is what it is. So we've got to get revenge on South Carolina. And what better way to do it than to do it at their home?
That tells us revenge is a dish that is best served cold.
It is very cold in space.
That's right. Revenge is always best served cold. So this has been exciting. First, we beat Auburn in an epic game. Dalton Knecht, he went crazy. 39 points. I'm telling you, that Dalton Knecht is a problem for the other teams.
The name is Dalton.
Absolutely. He is nothing but trouble.
Roadhouse.
Well, he didn't even play that great against Alabama. They threw everything but the kitchen sink after him and got him into foul trouble. He only scored 13 points, but we still won at Alabama. Because we have a veteran-laden team. We've got tons of seniors, and they don't let stress get them. They really don't. They've been down many times and come back and won, and we saw that with Triple J. Meshack played a great game. Zeke Ziegler always causes them trouble, and even though Adu was in foul trouble, he played a good game. And I tell you what, I know everybody gets down a little bit on Santiago. Let me tell you something. He had a couple of steals in there that were absolutely critical. He has a future as a pickpocket one day. He just goes in there and just gets his hand on the ball somehow and just steals it and does it multiple times. He and Zeke Ziegler are fantastic at that. They've just got that gift. I think that's one of the reasons Santiago plays so much is that he always plays smart. So a big game, and I'm fired up about it. I know you are too. To win the SEC outright would be huge. We haven't done that in a long time. We have shared it a couple times, but I want to win it outright. That would be a lot of fun. Now we need to talk about our buddy Eli Drinkwitz. This is a funny story. And this comes to us from A to Z Sports with Zach Reagan. And if you're not reading Zach Reagan, I can't help you. That guy's just an excellent writer. It says, Eli Drinkwitz explains why he said, "We stand on business" to Josh Heupel after the Missouri game, which was just lame as could possibly be. I mean, it was super lame.
Jackass!
But anyway, let's get into this story. Talks about how it went viral last season for his comments. And during the post-game handshake between the two coaches, Drinkwitz said, "We stand on business," and it's absurd. And Heupel said, "Man, I didn't really hear it while we were out there at the handshake." Said, "We moved on from the game after that."
Yep. We stand on business, Josh.
Missouri wins the break.
Said Drinkwitz recently appeared on Like a Farmer podcast and was asked about the comment. The Missouri head coach explained that he promised his defense that he'd say the phrase to Heupel if the Tigers got the win that night. He said, going into that game, he said, "We're going to play Tennessee. They'd beaten us pretty good the last 2 years, and our players knew that we didn't play our best. Defensively, we hadn't played our best. So the motto for that week was, we stand on business." He said, "It just means everybody's got to do their job. Don't worry about the scoreboard. Don't worry about the opponent, but we got to stand on business, blah, blah, blah." Said, "So I told the defense if they stood on business that I would tell the head coach that after the game." He said, and they did it. "If you watch the clip closely, the defensive captain is walking right behind me because we were beating them pretty good, and they were all gassing me up." And he said, and they were walking right behind me to make sure I did it. He said, "I had two choices. I could either look like a jackass nationally by saying it, or I could look like a jackass to my team for not saying it. And there's no choice there. I'm going to make sure that what I do and what I say with my team is always consistent."
You suck, you jackass!
If other people don't like it, I don't really care. Well, we don't like it. But anyway, that's actually a pretty good explanation. I kind of like that. At least he talked about it a little bit. And I understand what he was trying to do there. And he was between a rock and a hard place, because if he didn't go out there, the defensive players would have been like, "Oh, hey, you're just all talk." And he couldn't do that. So he had to go out there and make a butt out of himself. He said, "People think I'm dorky. People think I'm arrogant." No, we don't think that at all. He said, "I don't care. You know who doesn't think all that about me? Those players in the locker room." So anyway, I thought that was a super interesting story that y'all would enjoy. And it explains it. I mean, at least it explains it. And at least he understands and accepts the fact that he puts that out there into the world, that being a dork and being a jackass, he puts it out there. He doesn't care. Okay, that's fine. I like it when people accept, hey, this is who I am. I'm a major smart aleck. I won't sit there and deny it. I give teams a lot of grief. So when they give us grief, I don't want to be a hypocrite. So I can appreciate that on some level. But anyway, I thought y'all would enjoy finding out why he's that way. Anyway, if you like this content, be sure to hit that like button. Let's continue to cover all these stories, the SEC, my Vols, and anything else. If you've not subscribed, it is on your right, my left. If you'll hit this little button right here, it'll help you get my videos, and it won't cost you a dime, and it helps me with the algorithm. And I've told you I don't quite understand the algorithm, but I got to deal with it.
Who are you? I am the architect. I created the Matrix. I've been waiting for you.
And right over here's the most recent video YouTube thinks you'll enjoy based on your viewing history. Again, the algorithm. And we'll see you next time on Sports Talk Jay. And I don't stand on business.